In this video, I want to set up an object that allows us to attack enemies. It's going to be essentially like a sprite that's a sword swinging, attacking those enemies. So let's show how we're going to create this object, the sprite, and then start adding some code to it to make it do what we want it to do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my asset browser, select objects, and then I'm going to create a new object. I'm going to say new asset, objects, create. And this is going to be obj underscore attack. Now I want to assign a sprite to this object. So I come over here to my inspector panel, find my object. It currently says no sprite. Click on that button. Click on my sprites folder. And I'm going to look for something spr underscore slash. This is that slashing event. If you want to say, well, how do I know what it looks like? How do I know that it's actually going to be a slash event? It's not just this kind of this weird shape. Well, I can click on this little edit image. And here I see that shape. But if I look up above, I can see the other frames inside of my sprite. So I have this animation. And it's currently, if I look at it, it's set to toggle my loop versus my ping pong. So I'm on my loop. And I have a button right below I can click. And I can kind of see what this looks like. Now, it's not going to be really this fast. So don't worry about that. That's just in this quick little example. So this lets me kind of see, what does this look like? What can I do with it? I'm going to close my sprite window here. I don't need it. I need to be in my object attack code, which is currently showing my workspace area. So I'm going to create two different events that are going to be able to handle all the code I need for this attack object. So first thing I do is click my add event button and choose create. Here I need to define how much damage is going to be done every time this hits. So I'm going to create a variable called damage and just set it equal to 1 for right now. Then I'm going to come over here to my little plus to add a new event. And I'm going to come down here to other, and I'm going to choose animation end. So this is once I've gone through my animation. Remember I said it didn't matter if my animation was a ping pong back and forth or if it was a loop. This is why, because once that animation ends, I'm going to do something. What is it going to do? Well, I want to destroy my instance. That is, once I've created, I've slashed, no matter what happens, I'm done with it. So we're just going to get rid of that object. And this is pretty easy. There's a built-in function for this. It's just called instance. And you can see I got a bunch of actually different instances here. So I can either go and scroll down to find my instance destroyed like I want, or I can type it out. Hit the enter key. Notice it gives me my open and closing parentheses. It gives me some assets, so I can say, well, what asset do I want to destroy? If I don't define one, it destroys my current asset that I'm on. So that's literally all I have to do. The question is, if I'm destroying my slash object and I've not put it in my instances, how do I create it? So I'm going to come over here to my object player code. And inside my step event where I have all my information here, I'm going to add one new piece of code. And what I want to do is I want to look to see, did the player trigger a slash attack? How do I do that? Well, I'm going to listen for a keyboard event, and I'm just going to see during my step event, was a key pressed? And specifically, was the space bar pressed? Let's start this with if. Inside my condition, I'm going to put keyboard check pressed. Was it that I pressed? Well, I'm going to do VK underscore space. So these are the special keys that you may not necessarily put in like a letter or something like that. So these have been defined for us. So there's my space. I'm going to create an instance, and I have to know where to put this. So I'm going to say var underscore inst equals instance create depth. I now need to give it my x and y coordinates, so I'm going to specify x comma y. What this does is it takes my current object and gives the xy to the new object I just created. That way they're lining up with one another in the same coordinate plane. I'm then going to specify my depth. Remember, your depth is how are they stacked. And then I'm going to specify what my object is. So it's going to be object attack. Now we need to define what angle that image is going to be so that it's pointing up if I'm moving up, down if I'm moving down, etc. So to do this, I'm going to say underscore inst dot image angle equals, to adjust my image angle, I'm going to use point direction. I'm going to specify 0, 0, comma, horizontal underscore vertical. This is going to start to get me moving correctly. I then want to modify my damage. So I want to control how much damage I provide. So I'm going to come up to my create, and I've created damage equals 1. I'm going to specify underscore inst dot damage times equals my damage. That way, if I change my damage because I've leveled up, my slash attack becomes that much more powerful. I can fight more of these bad guys. I'm going to save this, hit F5, move. You can see me slash, but no matter what direction I'm moving, it always slashes to my right-hand side. That's not what I want. What I want is my slash to be based upon the direction that I was facing. So if I'm facing down, I want to slash down. If I'm facing up, I want to slash up. That way I can attack my bad guy enemies. So let's make one little change. To do this, I'm going to create a new variable called facing. I'm going to come up here to my create, facing. I'm going to just specify it to be equal 0 for now. And what I want to do is I want to change whenever I move to change that facing direction so it knows how to orient me based upon my last movement. So inside my if horizontal or vertical are not equal to 0, that little block of code, I'm going to specify facing equals, and now I have to figure out that code. Well, I already did when I defined my image rotation. I'm going to select my point direction function, cut that, and paste it to be equal to the facing variable. Now, for my image angle, I'm going to use facing. Press F5, move up, and now the slash goes up. Move down, and you notice with each one, I move. I can scroll out here, look for one of my bad guys. Here's one. Like, hey, I'm trying to slash you, but nothing happens. We've got to fix that. And so what we're going to show next is how to start to set up attacks that's not just from our object, but start to do damage to our bad guys. So stay tuned for that coming up in our next video.